Hey, welcome back everybody. So in case you can't notice, today we're out here in one of the fields on the R&R ranch, and you're probably wondering, why are you out there today? Well, for one, it's an absolutely beautiful day, and number two, the most important reason of all, today's episode is about the best 5 functional truck mods for the 7 to 13 Silverado that's going to get you the best performance of what you want your truck to do. Now, in case you haven't noticed, if you watch the channel, you already know this truck is not a pavement queen. We use it, we beat on it, and it gets the job done. Now, I'm going to take a second and spin the camera around talking about that so you can see just exactly how secluded we actually are and the reason why I chose some of these modifications, and you might have a little bit better idea. So check this out. I just want you to see it. Yeah, like I said, we're out here. So that's kind of the reason why I chose these mods, is because it allows me to be able to do this. And I get great performance doing it. The truck base we actually started with was the 8 model Silverado Vortec Max, which is the 6.0 truck. And the reason I chose it is because, well, it's got a little bit bigger engine, a little bit more power, capable of doing this stuff. I don't have to worry about it. But ththese modifications will work on the 5.3 and the 4.8 trucks as well, and give you a little bit better added performance. So check it out. Number one, one of the most important mods to me that I think these trucks need is suspension. Now, the suspension I'm actually running on this truck is rough country. It is a 5-inch rough country system. It came with the upper control arms, knuckle, and the bracket to drop that down. It also dropped the differential down, the spacers for that. Some modification is required. Honestly, the skid plate had to be cut. I notched the skid plate and then welded a piece over that because I wanted the protection, because on the Z71 trucks it requires notching of the skid plate. Don't have to do it. I chose to do that just because I want that added protection, because, well, if you watch the channel, you see what we do with the truck. That's kind of why. Now, this truck, this particular kit, it didn't come with the loaded struts. I opted to get the loaded struts for that kit for another $124 while I was ordering the set, and I think it ended up costing maybe $1,400 after it was all said and done, but well worth the cost. And you know, definitely a very you know, nice setup. Actually allows me to run a little bit bigger tire, stance the truck a little bit better with my wheel offset, and that's kind of why I chose that particular setup. Now, we also have a body lift on this truck, which is a inch and a quarter body lift through rough country as well. Just try to get a little extra clearance because I didn't want it to rub. So that gives me about 6.25 inches of overall total lift. Now, this allows me to run a little bit bigger tire. So some of you are probably wondering, well, what's a tire? Well, that's number 2. So number 2 of some of the most important, you know, best mods you can do to the Silverado is a wheel and tire setup. Now, I've opted to go with the 33-12-50 on this truck. Reason being is 35s, even at, you know, full articulation, when my suspension flexes, it's still rubbed. Okay, so some of you folks are watching this wondering, wow, you know, can I get a 35 and run on a 6-inch lift? Well, yes, you can, but if you're going to take it out and you're actually going to use the truck at full cock when you're turning the truck and you're trying to go over an obstacle, it will still rub. So I went with a 33-12-50, eliminates that, and I get the performance I want, because honestly, if you're trying to go over a boulder and, you know, turn at the same time, it's not going to happen. It's going to rub, and it's going to keep you from making that turn. Looks great, fills out the fender wells great, but performance wise, it just doesn't work. Unfortunately, you know, this thing's not a pavement queen. That's why I did it. You know, we get out here, we use this truck, we, you know, hit hills in this truck, and honestly, with 35s, I wouldn't be able to do some of that stuff. I'm not knocking 35s. I've had 35s on the truck once before, and it just cut down the performance that I had on the truck. And I said, this is just not going to go. So I went with a Mickey Thompson 33-12-50. Now, Mickey Thompson's, I'm going to show you these tires. All right, so let's get down here and I'll show you the tires. And like I said, they are a Mickey Thompson MTZ Baja P3. Honestly, I love these tires. They self-clean really well. They grip good. I mean, they have a 3-ply sidewall. I can't complain. I mean, these tires really are, you know, what we need them for. I mean, I use these tires. They're a little stiffer than some tires, and well, they are noisy out on the road, but the performance I get from them, I can overlook the noise and I don't care, because they perform the way I want them to perform. Now, the wheel that I'm running, it's actually a 0 offset wheel. The reason I chose for a 0 offset wheel is because it gives me a little bit of poke. It actually stances the truck, widens it out a little bit, and I like the look of it, for one. Two, it actually gives me a little bit more stability, especially when I'm, you know, going up a hill, or I'm going through some of the trails and stuff that we actually hit here on our ranch. It is beneficial. Now, you know, unfortunately, these tires probably run you about 350 bucks a piece, but well worth the cost if you're actually going to use the tire. You know, if you're going to have it out on the street and it's going to be a, you know, pavement queen, well, I'm sorry, it's not much point spending the money unless you just really want to have the look for the tire. They do perform great on the street, don't get me wrong, but you know, to me, these tires are meant to be used, and I like I said, I like functionality. Now, one of the other things that we've done is number 3, our air intake. I'll try to get a little bit more power out of the truck. I'll show you the air intake that we actually have done. Okay, and I'm running a K&M filter right here. The box, we actually made the box and the tube and everything to work with some of the factory equipment. And when I tell you, believe me, you don't want to miss this, because if you haven't subscribed already, folks, you probably need to, because this is actually something we designed here in the house, in the shop, and well, we're going to be giving one of these away. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel now, because you're going to miss out if you don't. And like I said, it's an aluminum charge pipe, 3-inch, fits your throttle body perfectly, and it gives you a little bit more air to get your LS to breathe, because we all know that LSs like to breathe. Now, like I said, you got to be a subscriber to qualify for that, but you don't want to miss it. Now, something else that we've done to the truck, obviously we put exhaust on it, because you've heard the truck on the channel. The reason I did that, it allows the truck to breathe a little bit better and allows it to you know, perform a little bit better, because it's able to pull more air into the intake. That's the reason I did it. Now we'll go ahead and listen to that while we're out here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we'll set the camera up back here so you can, and you can get a little bit of sounds great, serves a purpose as well. Now I'm gonna switch over here and we're gonna go over some other stuff, and we're gonna finish it up and then get back at the shop. So stay tuned, let's get after it. All right, so there we have that. That's the exhaust on the truck. It is actually Flowmaster exhaust and 2.5-inch catback system with the black tips that are, I think, 3.5. And sounds great, performs well, gives us that little extra power that we may very well need to do some of the stuff we do with this, and actually allows this LS to breathe, because that's what these things really like. Now, what ties that all together, you wonder? All right, well, I'm going to show you right here, which is our tuner. All right, number 5 of the best mods is a tuner. You can't have the added performance and the power without a good tuner. Now, this one happens to be a Super Chips tuner. I've actually bought a HB tuners that's we're going to be putting on the truck later on the channel, which you probably don't want to miss, and doing some other stuff for reason why we would need the HB tuner. Maybe adding some stuff to the truck, but we'll go over that later. Like I said, you don't want to miss that. But what the tuner actually allows us to do, it allows us to tell the engine and the ECU that we've added exhaust, we've added more air into it, and we can actually adjust the fuel trim to get that added performance out of it. It also allows us to adjust the transmission shift points to where it's a little firmer, and lengthen the shift points as well, and add some hydraulic pressure in the transmission, which can allow for better performance. You can't overdo that. So before you go changing the transmission settings, research it, make sure you know what you're doing, please, or reach out to us. We'll try to help you with that. You know, we have no problem with that through the online forum or our website. You know, reach out to us. We'll try to, you know, advise you as best we possibly can on the transmission settings on these. And you know, like I said, there's a fine line between performance and, you know, changing your fuel economy and making it worse. Now, this particular model actually allows me to run a DOD and AFM delete, which I did on this truck, and believe it or not, I actually gained fuel mileage. Where we're at here is very hilly, and I just don't see the benefit of AFM and DOD unless we're on flat straight road, and that's the only time it would actually kick in, is when we were on flat straight road. So I said, you know what, let's just delete it with the tuner, and that's exactly what I did. But like I said, all that combined, that's what it does, and that allows us to be able to do stuff like this and this. So if it was without that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be able to get out here where I'm standing, and has helped you guys, don't forget to hit the like button, and most importantly, subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.